Hey, it's Todd Rose, Polscammer board president at Venture Out. It's Friday morning, and I wanted to provide an update with regard to the board meeting that occurred last night. Now, you'll recall this is an out-of-cycle board meeting, but I still wanted to be able to break down kind of what happened and unpack that for you a little bit. What I'm not going to do is try and provide like my personal opinions or skew my observations at all. I'm not going to dig in too much into the whole conversation. I just want to unpack what I can for you. First of all, I want to put something to bed that we've been trying to put to bed for weeks, but it keeps coming up on Facebook. Like, can't believe they're doing this. They're trying to sneak something in. Why the end of the year? You know, we're not a legislative body where there's any significance to the end of the year. Like we see in DC, at the last hour, they sneak something into a bill right before the close of session. That's not even how we operate. So there's no advantage to doing this before January 1st from a tactical perspective. So why yesterday? Well, I will submit to you because it was a Thursday in the middle of a business week. It was not a holiday. I had a day full of work for my company, numerous calls with clients. None of them canceled because it was a holiday, right? My boys are out of school, so I had to leave them and drive to Panama City. I woke up this morning and drove home. Right, it was disruptive to my personal schedule. I'm in the holidays, but the idea that this can't be done anywhere near Christmas is sort of silly. All right, we had strong participation. I think there were 50 people online. Any given board meeting, we have 30 or 40 people. It was just normal, routine business that we were conducting. But here's the deal: we conducted it in a way I think is above board and should be admired. This could have been done in a closed session where we notice the meeting 48 hours in advance. It says closed board meeting. All you know is that we met to talk about a legal matter, and then the meeting ends and you're out. And actually, this is okay, right? Like, I don't want to, there will be future closed board meetings for human resource, HR issues, personnel, other legal matters, pending litigation, whatever, right? Like, there's scores of reasons to do that, so it's not anything devious. But my point is, it was within our power to do so. But you have a board that wants to operate transparently, that wants to have owner engagement, that encourages participation, that's constantly holding community listening sessions and roundtables and the works, all right? So in the spirit of that, we're like, hey, let's open this up. It's important to the community. Let's let people hear firsthand what the lawyer has to say. So we didn't notice it 2 days or 48 hours in advance. We noticed the meeting like 7 or 8 days in advance. Then sent 2 emails, one from the manager, one from me with a video. And we posted numerous videos online explaining this and unpacking it and getting it ready. The board needs to quickly examine this information, contemplate their personal position, come back with a proposal or something to submit for consideration to their other board members, all right, and then make a decision. It's important that we get this behind us, that we get it right, and that we get it behind us. Why is it important? What, again, about the timing? We heard yesterday, now the board has time to think. We can enter into that debate in January and get this settled, hopefully. It'll probably extend into February. Why does this matter? Spring break is right on us in March. You get into March and April, you have spring break. We're coming up on season. So why does it matter? And because you might operationally might not understand. Whatever policy is developed, whatever rule is changed, has to be communicated. First of all, it has to be noticed to owners, and you have 14 days notice. So nothing happens till that's over. And then when that happens, you got to make sure that the owners know about it, that they're aware of it. You might need to print some flyers and communication materials. If you have family coming, owners need to be able to tell their family clearly what's expected, right? Here's our new rules. When you arrive at the beach, I need you to follow these new rules. I want to make sure you're aware of this new policy, this new rule. And then we also have a huge rental environment where we have scores of families coming in, many of which have been here year after year and may not be familiar with our rules and are going to have no idea that a rule changed. So if they've gone to the same house year after year and there's one tiny parking spot, but they've always parked in front of it, but hypothetically, something has changed. It could be a painted line, it could be no parking on roads, but something has changed, and now they can't park there anymore. They need to know that ASAP. So why yesterday? Because we've got to get this going. We have the attorney on board. This is the very soonest that we could get the meeting set. So we took the meeting and we got it, and now we're moving forward. What does moving forward mean? I have no idea what policy the board's going to adopt. I have no idea. I know where a few of my board members stand on the issue, and I know where a few others stand on the issue, and they're not standing together. So someone posted today, the board is going to ban parking. There are members of the board who believe that's an appropriate solution. And I want you to hear me say this. They're fine people. These are good people. They believe in their heart that this is necessary. They believe there's an obligation legally and in the spirit of saving lives. These aren't sinister people. They just are convicted in their belief that is. There's another set of board members that believe we can handle this through laws, rules, ticketing, enforcing, and that's the extent to which we need to act. So the board is not moving in any direction except through information, through knowledge, through legal counsel, through conversations, hearing ideas from owners, so that we can eventually get to a point of deciding what it is we need to do. So last night was a big piece of that. Let's talk about last night. The board members were able to submit questions to the attorney, and they submit it in their own word. We didn't manipulate questions or twist them. I didn't change Byron's question or Rebecca's question. They didn't change mine. We submitted those cleanly weeks ago. He had time to review those. He came in prepared to discuss them. It is true that a few hours before the meeting, he took a tour of the community just to kind of get a better understanding physically of what our roads look like. How big are they? He noted right away, like tiny parking spots. He's like, they built their houses on the entire site. I'm like, yeah. I had a conversation with him on the side after me. It's like, yep, we created a nightmare for ourselves. And he's like, wow. Very interesting. And so he can see what we face. I think Rebecca or Suzanne noted that it was dead calm yesterday. If you had a tennis ball and wanted to peg a car parked in the road, you'd have to really look to find one. It was just like empty, right? But he's not stupid. And so when he said, when he's driving down the road and he sees, yeah, if there was a truck here and a car there, or two dualies, or whatever the case may be, it would be difficult to navigate the community. I see the situation. I understand you. But he didn't show up yesterday and just start thinking about it. Someone posted online that he showed up 2 hours before the meeting, took a rush tour, and made a decision. That's foolishness. This is nonsense. So he shared his thoughts on this legal matter with the board, answering and addressing our questions, and then he received more questions from board members. Everybody had plenty of time. We kind of buttoned up the meeting because there weren't really any more questions. We didn't just stop it. We exhausted our time together. And owners in the audience of the clubhouse and online were very respectful and asked questions and got answers. And there are a few items we're going to follow up on, like I would like to look into this. And he was taking copious notes on various aspects and nuances so he can continue to guide us. But that's what's happened. That's what happened last night. That's why it happened. There's nothing sinister going on. I was called what was it? It was so interesting. It was called a tyrant. I think it was tyrant on Facebook today. And the board is overstepping and seizing power, and I don't understand exactly how that observation could be made. But maybe I need to look up the definition of tyrant. Maybe they need to look up a definition of tyrant. But the one thing I think I should note that was abundantly clear, I don't think anybody in attendance would object to me saying this, he affirmed that there is case law precedent in Florida and good, solid, decided legal standing that this is indeed an issue for the board to decide. I think another little spin-off of this has been all sorts of trails on this subject is this has to go to an owner vote. No, it does not. It does not. This is very squarely in the board's lane. You elect board members, and then we sit here and try to make the best decisions we can. We don't take everything out to the community for a vote, and this does not require that. So that was eye-opening for me because I've had owners say, this has got to vote. But that wasn't true. And so that was, if there was anything that came out that was sort of black and white, it was that, yeah, this is squarely available to the board to address. And there's that. So that's basically what went down last night. I will tell you that I've observed today, and I'd like to caution us as a community, and I've been in conversation with the board, and I think people agree on this. The way an attorney provides counsel, sometimes it's black and white. Yep, nope, totally wrong, can't do that. And then sometimes there's gray areas attached to black and white, and sometimes it's all gray. So we kind of went through a huge spectrum of conversation. But in doing that, I noticed, and I found myself subject to this, grabbing a hold of something he said that affirmed my belief, right? Oh, he just said rules will work. That can have a rule of enforcement that shows sufficient responsible response and that protects the community and protects the board. And it would be foolish for me to ignore what he continued to say about our obligation in that whole spectrum, right? Where are you exposed? Where are you at risk? How far are you willing to go into remedying this? Where's the least point, and how does that expose you as a community? So I think it's dangerous for anyone to walk away from that going like, yep, he said it. Case closed. I would say definitely not case closed. Because my good, respectable friends that are on the board that hold a position different than mine heard things that they're going to grab a hold of and say, he said it. We're obligated to do X, Y, or Z. So it's not always black and white. If you watch the video, you're not going to leave, which I encourage you to watch. You're not going to leave going, well, this is super clear. But it was important. And I think having that opinion presented publicly was also important. So let's move forward smartly, see where we land on this. I have no idea which way it'll go. I really don't. I can't read the tea leaves. I know that I have board members who are like-minded, and I know there's board members that believe there are other ways to solve this that they feel passionately about. But somebody posted today, the board is banning parking. Well, I haven't seen that in any meeting I've been in. And I think there's sufficient objection to that amongst the board. So there's work to do to get that done. So that's where we are. And this is honest review and reflection on why we had the meeting and how it kind of rolled out. So we're going to continue to study it. I would ask you sincerely and genuinely to be kind to one another. It is difficult when you disagree. And if you feel like someone's up to something, they're trying to hurt you, I bet that creates some anxiety and anger. But I know the people that serve on this board, they become good friends. And I know where their minds are. I know where their experience in life is. I know where their hearts are. And that they're desperately trying to get this right for the community. And they're willing to make the tough decision if they believe it's the right decision. And I respect that. So I hope you will too. Now let's go have a Merry Christmas. All right? Outside that door downstairs is my family and a beautiful tree. My grandkids are coming over, hopefully later today. And I'm very, very much looking forward to Christmas morning and watching the boys open their presents and seeing my grandkids and doing all the things. And hopefully getting back to the beach if it'll warm up a spell and getting out on the water and enjoying that place that we love. I loved walking by this morning and seeing the new pavilion. It is so exciting to see that thing coming up. And I stood there underneath it and envisioned families gathering there, and I bet we'll have a wedding there, and we're going to have rehearsal dinners there, and there's going to be birthday parties, and I could see watch parties for game day and all the good things that are going to happen. And just beyond the pavilion, they were driving pilings in for the new pier, and I stood there and envisioned, because it's going to be elevated. You're going to walk straight out on the pier now, not downstairs. Why'd you do that? Well, so people in wheelchairs or with mobility issues can get out there, right? We don't need those stairs impeding, if we have a kid in a wheelchair or someone is, with mobility challenges, we want them to be able to enjoy it too. So the view from out there being a little elevated, looking down the lagoon. I mean, I've fished on that pier since I could walk. I couldn't see over the rail. I had to stand up on the middle one to fish with my little fishing rod. And now I see my kids and grandkids doing it. So I just share that in closing to say we've got an incredibly awesome, magical place. We've weathered all sorts of tough decisions. We've weathered good decisions, bad decisions, good boards, bad boards. We literally have weathered hurricanes with the resilience and the spirit of the people of this community. It makes us awesome. So I don't know where this is going to land, but I sure as heck know we're going to work through it. And I know we're going to be okay on the other side. So Happy New Year if I don't see you till then. And all the season's greetings and blessings and all the good stuff. I hope you enjoy every ounce of it. Good evening.